in this video. Hello everybody and welcome to the 26th video on the channel. Another geometry lesson. In this whole series we'll be continuing on for a little bit, of course. One more thing before we go on to our answers to our previous questions. Please make sure to like, hit that subscribe button, and turn on notifications for more awesome content just like this. Without further ado, let's go on to our answers to our previous questions. For our first question, the answer is 36 units squared. And for our second question, the answer is 2 units squared. And make sure to go watch the last video if you want to know where these questions came from. Without further ado, let's go on to our lesson. Today's lesson is about the different types of triangles. And there are 5 main types of triangles, 6 if you really want to, and I'll explain them all here. The first type of triangle is an equilateral triangle, where all 3 sides and all 3 angles are equal. By the way, if you want to know why I'm doing these small dashes in the middle of the line, when 2 lines are exactly equal in length, we do 2 dashes. We do a dash in each of the middle of the lines to say that, alright, these lines are equal. And the angles also, because of all the sides are equals, all the angles are also going to be equal. For our second type of triangle, it is an isosceles triangle. An isosceles triangle is where you only have 2 of the 3 sides equal to each other. So you don't have all of the sides, but you have 2 of the 3 sides and 2 of the same angles as a result. Our third type of triangle is the scalene triangle. This is where you have no sides or angles equal to each other. And those are the 3 main types of triangles when it comes to side lengths. The reason I say this is because there are 2 other types of triangles which have more to do with the singular angle, and I will explain a little more about that right now. Our fourth type of triangle is a right angle triangle, where there is 1 right angle and 2 acute angles. If you don't know much about the angles, watch my angles video, where the angles video is going to be on my channel. It's going to be in the geometry playlist. It's going to go over acute, right, obtuse, reflex, straight, full turn, and those are the couple of angles. And that's good to watch, actually, because it's definitely a must for this video. Our 5th and final type of triangle, or maybe 5th out of 6th, I'll explain later, or right after this actually, is our obtuse triangle. This is where you have 1 obtuse angle, which is 1 angle between 90 and 180 degrees, which is the bottom right angle, or the bottom right triangle, which I'm circling over here. That is an obtuse triangle. Now, the 6th kind of triangle, we can say it is called, and some people like to call it an acute triangle, where all 3 of the angles are acute and none of them are right or obtuse. But in my opinion, that's kind of like a normal triangle. It's very common. I don't think that's much of a very special triangle. But if you want to include that, you definitely can. There is nothing against that. Alright? And when I was trying to explain, alright, we're done with the first 3, the first section, is because if we can draw some imaginary line over here, splitting the 2 halves, because it would be easier to show it. Because an equilateral triangle is kind of like an acute triangle. And where the acute triangle, it only has all angles which are equal to 60 degrees actually, and it's an acute triangle. A scalene triangle can be a right angle triangle. Like if we have 3 sides, they're not equal to each other, but one of the angles is a right angle. That is a right angle scalene triangle. There can also be a right angle isosceles triangle, where 2 of the sides are the exact same, and we only have 1 of them, and we only have 1 side which is bigger than the rest of the 2. Or we could have an isosceles obtuse angle triangle. We would have 1 bigger side, and then we would have 1 bigger side / angle, and then we would have 2 angles of the same side. I'll show you one example right now. We can have this length, we can have this length, they're the same length. And then we draw a line. These 2 are the same length, and this is an obtuse angle. So that's why I say, alright, if this is an obtuse angle, isosceles, or obtuse angle scalene, right angle isosceles, that's really what it's meant for. The equilateral triangle is kind of just a given. So let's move on to our examples. Today's 3 examples are all about identifying, which I should probably write it over here. Identify. What this does, we're trying to identify it, so I just noted it down there. Our first one is where we have 2 tick marks in the center of 2 of the 3 sides, like this. So if you remember it from up there, like not up there, not like up there, but like earlier in today's video where we explained the types of triangles, you would know that this is an isosceles triangle. Alright, that's our first example. Our second example is where we have the square thing, which is over here, which represents a right angle. So this would have to be a right angle triangle. And this, the third and final example, is we have none of the things match. There's no square, there's no big arc, there's no tick marks. So this would have to be a scalene triangle. Scalene triangle. Of course, none of my videos is complete without me assigning you some practice problems. The first practice problem is this triangle, which of course you have to identify. So I'll rewrite that down over here. Identify. The second one is this triangle in the middle, and the bottom triangle is the thing that we have to identify for our third example. Thank you so much, and see you in the next one. Bye-bye.